Imagine living in a world where every decision about how you dress, what you say, and even how you style your hair is tightly controlled. In North Korea, women face a unique set of bizarre rules that govern their daily lives. Some may leave you shocked, others might seem surreal, but all reveal a side of North Korea rarely seen. North Korea is an enigmatic nation shrouded in secrecy and strict control. While its authoritarian regime imposes harsh rules on everyone, women in North Korea live under a set of laws that are uniquely oppressive and, at times, downright bizarre. Today, we uncover 15 strange rules only women are forced to follow in the Hermit Kingdom. Stay tuned as we uncover 15 strange rules only women observe in this mysterious nation. You won't believe number 1. North Korea is one of the most secretive countries in the world, with a society that's isolated, tightly controlled, and steeped in propaganda. Women in North Korea live under rules that not only reflect the country's authoritarian grip, but also its deeply entrenched gender roles. 1. Government-approved hairstyles. In North Korea, women must conform to one of 15 government-approved hairstyles designed to reflect the regime's conservative values and rejection of Western influences. These styles are simple and uniform, ensuring no expression of individuality or defiance against socialist ideals. Dyeing hair or adopting modern or trendy styles is strictly prohibited, as such acts are deemed symbols of capitalist culture. Married women are restricted to shorter hairstyles, symbolizing modesty, while unmarried women are allowed slightly longer options. Hair salons prominently display charts of these state-sanctioned styles, leaving no room for personal choice. Any deviation, such as altering a style or using forbidden hair colors, is viewed as a breach of loyalty to the regime and can result in reprimands, fines, or more severe punishment. This rigid control over women's appearance underscores the government's "No pants for married women" in North Korea. Married women are strictly prohibited from wearing trousers, as these are considered inappropriate and masculine attire. Instead, they are required to adhere to traditional feminine dress codes by wearing skirts or the traditional Korean chosonat. This rule underscores the regime's rigid enforcement of gender roles, expecting women to embody idealized notions of modesty and femininity. Violations of this dress code can lead to fines or public reprimands, further entrenching societal control. While trousers are occasionally permitted for women in physically demanding jobs, such as farming or factory work, these exceptions are rare and often scrutinized. The regulation not only limits personal expression, but also highlights the state's pervasive control over daily life. While urban areas are more lenient, in rural North Korea, women are forbidden from wearing pants. Skirts are mandatory, reflecting traditional gender expectations. By dictating such personal aspects of identity. 3. Restricted access to education. In North Korea, educational opportunities for women are significantly restricted compared to men. While primary education is mandatory, higher education is largely reserved for men, particularly in fields such as science, politics, and engineering. Women are often steered toward vocational training or manual labor, including roles in agriculture and factories, reflecting the regime's perception of women as caregivers and family supporters rather than intellectual or professional equals. Access to advanced education is limited primarily to women from elite families, leaving the majority unable to pursue academic or career ambitions. This systemic discrimination reinforces traditional gender roles, depriving women of the chance to improve their social and economic standing. As a result, their career options remain confined to low-paying, labor-intensive jobs. 4th, mandatory Kim family badges. In North Korea, every citizen is required to wear badges featuring the images of Kim Il-sung or Kim Jong-il as a public display of loyalty to the regime. However, for women, this rule is enforced with even greater scrutiny, demanding that they wear these badges more visibly than men. The badges, which are considered sacred symbols of the regime, must be treated with the utmost care, as any damage, loss, or improper display can lead to severe consequences, including public shaming, fines, or harsher penalties. Women are routinely inspected during public events, in workplaces, and even in their daily lives to ensure compliance with this rule. This mandatory badge serves not just as a token of loyalty, but as a constant reminder of the Kim family's cult of personality, which permeates every aspect of life in North Korea. The government uses this practice to maintain an aura of omnipresent authority, reinforcing its dominance in the lives of its citizens. For women, the badge requirement is yet another example of how the regime exerts control over their appearance and actions. 5. Forced marriage for political loyalty. In North Korea, arranged marriages are often utilized by the regime to ensure political loyalty and reinforce the stability of elite circles. Young women, typically in their late teens or early 20s, are paired with older, high-ranking military officials or government representatives, matches chosen by the state rather than personal preference. These unions are strategically designed to consolidate power and reward loyalty to the Kim family. Women in these marriages are expected to bear children who will continue the family's allegiance to the regime, ensuring that loyalty is passed down through generations. This practice, which is more common among elite families, underscores the complete lack of autonomy women have over their personal lives. Marriage in this context becomes less about companionship or love and more about fulfilling the state's agenda. Women in these arrangements are not only denied choice in selecting a life partner, but their lives are also shaped by political considerations rather than personal freedom. 6th ban on Western fashion. In North Korea, women are strictly forbidden from wearing Western-style clothing, such as jeans, high heels, and branded items. The regime views such attire as symbols of Western capitalism and cultural infiltration, which it sees as a threat to the country's socialist values. Those who defy this ban face harsh punishments, including public scolding, confiscation of their belongings, fines, or even arrest. Instead, women are expected to wear traditional clothing, like the Chosunok-ki, which aligns with North Korean ideals and emphasizes conservative gender norms. While elite families may sometimes acquire Western fashion items through black markets, this is rare and highly secretive. For the majority of women, the ban enforces conformity and restricts personal expression, denying them the freedom to dress according to their tastes or personality. The regime uses this control over clothing as a tool to suppress individuality and creativity. 7. Compulsory participation in mass performances. Women, particularly young girls, are often forced to participate in mass performances like the Arirang Mass Games, a grand spectacle designed to glorify the North Korean regime. These events involve thousands of performers, all executing synchronized routines meant to symbolize national unity and strength. Participants are carefully selected based on their physical appearance and must undergo months of grueling preparation, which is physically and mentally exhausting. Mistakes during rehearsals are met with punishment, and those who refuse to participate face severe consequences, as it is considered a duty to the state. The performances prioritize state propaganda over the well-being of the participants, reinforcing the regime's control over its citizens. Women in particular face immense pressure to embody ideals of perfection and discipline, as their participation is seen as a direct reflection of the regime's power. 8. Forbidden from owning motorcycles. In North Korea, motorcycles are reserved exclusively for men, reinforcing traditional gender roles that severely limit women's independence and mobility. The regime views motorcycles as symbols of freedom, status, and individualism, qualities that are seen as a threat to the state's control. By prohibiting women from owning or using motorcycles, the regime ensures that women remain confined to domestic duties and less mobile than men. Women are expected to rely on walking, cycling, or public transport, which are less efficient and more physically demanding. In rural areas, this rule becomes even more burdensome, as women often walk long distances to perform work-related tasks or fulfill household responsibilities. The restriction highlights the deeply patriarchal structure of North Korean society, where women's roles are tightly controlled and their freedom of movement is strictly limited. 9. Constant surveillance in workplaces. In North Korea, women endure constant surveillance at their workplaces, which serves to ensure unwavering loyalty to the regime and strict adherence to its rules. Supervisors meticulously monitor women's behavior, conversations, and even personal habits, reporting any signs of dissent for disloyalty. In addition to work duties, women are often compelled to attend ideological training sessions where they are further indoctrinated into the government's policies and values. This surveillance culture extends beyond the office, as women are also assigned the task of spying on their co-workers. 10th, public shaming for infidelity. In North Korea, women accused of infidelity face severe public punishment, as adultery is considered a major violation of societal morality. Women are often blamed and shamed more harshly than men, who rarely face similar consequences. Suspected women are publicly paraded through their neighborhoods, forced to confess in front of their families, co-workers, or entire communities, and subjected to intense verbal scolding. These acts of public humiliation serve to uphold strict gender norms, reinforcing the state's expectations of loyalty to both family and the regime. The punishment is not only a means of maintaining control, but also a way to perpetuate gender inequality. 11. Restricted travel for women in North Korea. Internal travel is difficult for everyone, but women face even stricter restrictions. They must obtain official permission to travel, and single women are particularly scrutinized to prevent them from escaping to China or other countries. Women traveling for work or family visits are required to carry documentation, proving the legitimacy of their journey, and frequent checkpoints make travel even more challenging. Those caught without the proper papers face the threat of arrest or interrogation. In rural areas where public transport is limited and expensive, women often walk for hours to reach markets or visit family. These severe travel restrictions reflect the regime's deep fear of losing control over its citizens, especially women. 13. Censorship of romantic content. In North Korea, romantic themes in movies, books, and music are heavily censored, with severe consequences for women who are caught consuming or distributing such media. The regime views romance as a distraction from the state's ideals, fearing it might encourage personal desires that conflict with collective duty and loyalty to the Kim family. Women found with romantic novels, foreign films, or music face punishments, including fines, public interrogation, or even imprisonment in labor camps. State-sponsored propaganda instead promotes relationships centered around loyalty to the regime, focusing on reproduction and adherence to nationalistic ideals. 14. Reproductive control. The North Korean government exerts strict control over women's reproductive rights, encouraging them to have multiple children in line with population goals. Women are pressured to marry young and start families, often with little regard for personal preference or choice. Pregnancy and childbirth are closely monitored, with women expected to adhere to state directives and focus on their role as mothers. In rural areas, women face limited access to healthcare, resulting in higher maternal mortality rates. The state's control over reproduction is not only about population management. 15. No independent businesses. Women in North Korea are prohibited from running independent businesses, as private enterprise is viewed as a challenge to the regime's control over the socialist economy. This restriction prevents women from pursuing economic independence or entrepreneurship, but many find ways to circumvent the rules. In secret, women often engage in small-scale trading in black markets known as jangmadang to meet the needs of their families. These markets are crucial for accessing everyday goods that are otherwise scarce or expensive. However, those caught operating illegal businesses face severe punishment, survival, and a hope for a better future. It's a reminder of how much we take for granted and how powerful freedom truly is. What surprised you the most about these bizarre rules? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into the world's most mysterious places Until next time, stay curious.